Is my boyfriend of 7 years cheating on me, or am I crazy? I need advice on if my boyfriend of 7 years, that lives with me, is cheating on me. I have nobody to lean on as my friends are mutual friends of his, or they do not give good advice, and I do not want to consult someone who'll just say wow ick. To start off, why he might be. He recently changed his passwords on all of his devices and social media accounts. Not only changed them but changed them to something about 60 characters long that no one could decipher. We've always had each other's passwords, but I've never attempted to use them, so I guess I'm not really sure they were even really his. He told me he was doing this. He also reset his computer and phone, which I thought was odd, and he was acting paranoid. He said his computer was because he downloaded something and might have gotten his data stolen. Although that doesn't explain him changing and resetting his phone as well. He deleted his Instagram account too about a week before this because he just doesn't use it enough, which is true, I suppose. When I asked him why he was doing this again out of curiosity, he just said I should expect that of him since he's a computer security major now and understands data risk. It doesn't help that he acts suspicious and is anxious of confrontation of any kind, because I can't differentiate between him actually acting suspicious or him being embarrassed. For example, I could ask him if he ate an apple pie of the freezer and he will blush and start sweating and nervous smiling even if no apple pie ever existed. Which he keeps doing in this circumstance as well. Now he threw me his phone and said, "Look, it's nothing weird on my phone." I didn't know what to do, so I clicked on Snapchat and Quick Add and saw show hidden in Quick Add, and it was an account with a random username, example T9384848, but his full name as the display name with a bitmoji that looks like him. I never have seen this account, so I was going to ask him about it, but then he was asleep by now, so I screenshotted it on his phone to remember to ask him tomorrow, then went to bed. The next morning the screenshot is gone, he's awake and I'm not, and he says he didn't want to deal with my crap and that was an old account, so he deleted it. He made me feel crazy, so I stopped asking there. I feel like if he is cheating, it is going to be impossible for me to prove it. This is because he always used to use private browser, and now he took it up a notch and is downloading extra secure private browsing. He told me it was so nobody can see his data and steal it. He also clears his TikTok history and message history daily. The one time he forgot to clear his TikTok history, it was a bunch of girls in seductive clothing dancing. I didn't care, I thought it was funny. He accidentally pulled it up while showing me a video he forgot to save, but he is also one of those no FAP guys who thinks that kind of stuff is cheating and impure etc. So he claimed he never watched those and now makes sure even more to clear it despite me giving no indication I was mad. This is the guy I want to marry and I need to know if he is or not. He works a lot with girls, so maybe someone there, or he was a past Discord guy, maybe a old fling. Or maybe nobody and I'm crazy. To start off, why he wouldn't be, he's always been amazingly loyal to a fault. Only more so as the relationship has gone on. That is why I feel confused here. I feel conflicted and stupid, a constant battle wagering in my head lately. I have OCD and GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, so it's hard for me to differentiate between what is actually suspicious behavior or what is normal. I've had every other guy I've dated cheat on me since I was 11, even in the fake puppy love relationships as well, and have trust issues with mostly everyone, so I don't know if that is clouding my thinking. Although my trust issues haven't extended to him after our first few months of dating, when I realized he is actually loyal and turns down people to his own accord. I don't go through his phone. We have each other's locations, even though I've only checked his probably about twice when he's held up at work, etc. Edit, when I tried discussing it with him it went like this. Basically said I can trust him or chose not to because he's doing it for privacy and not to have his data stolen. Said I'm the only girl he wants physically or mentally. Claimed I can stalk and go through his phone if that makes me feel better, which I found insulting because I don't want to do that, I just wanted honesty. If he's being honest, he just made himself accidentally out to be suspicious. He just made me feel more stupid. Said if he was in my shoes he would trust me. Comment. He's still getting his data and info taken. It's all just to hide from you. Everything else is an unknown. I think it's weird that he has to hide everything on his phone. On top of that, you caught him watching those videos on TikTok and now he makes sure that he clears his history. I think the no fapping thing is just a front to make himself look better, especially from what you've said about his TikTok. Typically those videos wouldn't come up unless you're interacting with them. All of this is definitely very suspicious to me. I get privacy, but he's doing too much, especially when you don't go through his phone. Yeah, exactly, that doesn't mean much when he clears it right away. I like to give others the benefit of the doubt, but he knows exactly what he's doing by giving you a false sense of security, knowing there wouldn't be anything on his phone with him deleting it all. It sounds like he's trying to hide something from you, but make it seem like you're the crazy GF for noticing his suspicious behavior. I've been in this situation before with one of my exes. I know how hard it is to get a solid answer from someone like this. If you need someone to talk to, my DMs are always open as well. Also, if you can check out his Snap score on his old account, that'll help you see if he's using it or not. To me it sounds like he's just trying to dismiss the topic. The whole data thing isn't even valid, because if he's using social media, his data is being stored regardless of him deleting it or not. Especially if he's clearing his text for iPhone, at least with messages it will only delete for you, not the other person. He honestly just sounds like he's using excuses to get you to stop talking about it. Also, him going back to going through his phone, if he keeps deleting things off his phone, what would be the point in looking? I'd definitely bring up that point if you can. Piggybacking off of what someone else said in this thread, it seems like he's going to continue doing this regardless of how you feel. The only way you'd be able to catch him doing anything is if someone comes to you and shows you, or if you really dig for his deleted things. I'd say trust your gut. I understand wanting privacy, but his TikTok history definitely shows that he is trying to hide what he's doing on his phone from you. I think you should tell him that insecurity is getting to you. Ask him to please treat you seriously and tell you what is going on. Tell him that it looks like he wants to erase something from his phone/accounts, and it drives you crazy. You can mention to him that you can't believe him on his word, since whenever he does STH wrong he decides to lie to you even if you know the truth, the pie thing as an example. Next story 2. My boyfriend and myself are stuck in a rut and need help. My boyfriend of 8 months have recently been having some issues. I personally am a very independent person. I'm not used to letting people do things/go out of their way for me. The moment I met my BF, he has been extremely helpful and goes above and beyond. We met August of 2022, and started dating January 2023. The day we started dating I moved 3 hours away. Until late May we moved in together. A lot of people thought we were rushing, and I agree, but I was 3 hours away from my life, my friends, my job, my boyfriend, everything. I couldn't afford to live on my own, so if I wanted to come back downstate it'd have to be with a roommate, so we decided to move in together. Back to be independent, I had a car accident in January and totaled my car. My boyfriend has 2 cars and insisted I start driving one of his because he knew I didn't have the money since I was jobless at the time, so I did. I am still driving his car. He doesn't mind at all and says it's pointless pretty much to buy a new car and not to stress since we both have a vehicle, but I hate it. I'm still saving for a car since I don't have a high-paying job. My boyfriend makes 2x plus more of the amount of money I make, so we decided he would pay bills while I pay for both our gas, groceries, any outings, pet supplies, hygiene supplies, etc. He basically dumps his entire checks into bills/debts, and we live on my weekly paychecks, which I have absolutely no issue with. I just stress so much about money I decided to pick up extra shifts. Now I work more than I am at home. I have been pretty depressed since move-in. He is aware of this. I'll randomly have breakdowns, panic attacks. For a time I wasn't motivated to participate in cleaning, I just wanted to sleep. I'll constantly feel like I don't deserve the love he shows. I wouldn't want to do anything. I'm always scared to go out and have fun because I feel like we can't afford anything outside of basic necessities. I felt suffocated. My boyfriend constantly wants to be with me, doing things with me, He wants to spend 24/7 if he had it his way, would get upset if I hung out with friends without him, can't sleep at night if I spend the night somewhere else, and I am very very independent, I need my personal space. I felt a little off by this and I recommend he went to therapy for his codependency, because he wanted to do everything and anything with me and I felt like it was an issue. He told his therapist why he was starting therapy and she has told him that I was the gaslighter, manipulator, controlling. He tried to bring up some of his problems that weren't about me, and she ignored them and only talks about me during their sessions. She's mentioned how he doesn't benefit anything from this relationship. I feel like it's very unprofessional and he also sees this as weird behavior from a professional and she's pushed his sessions to once a month. I can admit I have a slight control issue and I can be slightly temperamental, but I never thought it was this bad. I had a few falling out with friends back in January that was the cause of my original move, ex-roommates and the girl who took my place in the lease, and had been told that I'm the issue, that I'm the problem, and now I just feel unworthy of any love after hearing it over and over again and now from his therapist. So I'll admit I've been more insecure, I've given up on myself. I went on a weight loss journey last couple years and within the time of knowing my boyfriend I've gained back all my weight. With this I've been really insecure and mentally checked out. We've had twice within the last 2-ish months and each time I've had a breakdown and had to stop because of panic attacks. And it does bother my boyfriend, but he understands and doesn't ever push me to start it. He lets me try to figure it out on my own and waits for me. I've recognized my behavior and have tried to fix it. I've been more helpful around the house, I started my gym membership back up, but the new issue is, it's almost like we've switched roles. Now my boyfriend doesn't help around the house, he just wants to lay around. He gets easily frustrated and aggravated, especially when it comes to our dogs. We have my 9-year-old dog, and we bought a puppy in July. I'll leave a small to-do list and he won't complete it, or he does half-assed. Example, I asked him to clean the stove and kitty litter, and he only did the stove, and not the litter, and I'll get home at 9:30 p.m. every night and he'll be laying on the couch while the tasks are undone, and sometimes won't do anything unless I specifically asked him to. And he knows my frustrations, but I also went through this, so I try not to get too mad, but I can't help but make my frustrations aware sometimes, which only upsets him more. We've totally switched roles, and he went to a doctor today and they recommended him to up his therapy sessions because they think he's depressed. I cannot afford a therapist since I don't have insurance, but he does, so that's why I'm not in therapy. Is there any advice you could give us? I know it's a lot to unpack, but I'm desperate.